hearing cracking. Not necessarily a good thing. Whoops. Oh boy.
Beats.
Para ti lengua y larga.
Howdy doody. Welcome back to the ranch. My name is Mick. This is a 2016 Trail King 10-ton equipment trailer. I just picked this thing up for $2,000. But me being the glutton for punishment that I am, this one was wrecked. So let's see what we're getting into here. Okay, so what are we looking at? This is, like I said, a 2016 Trail King, which is a really nice trailer. It is electric brakes, which is something that I was wanting because I plan to pull this with my 3/4 ton. I know it's a little overkill for the truck, but if I'm pulling something heavier, I can pull it behind the dump truck, the International, St. Nick, or if I need something heavier than that, obviously we have the Peterbilt with the drop deck on it. So this is more so because I'm finding a lot of the things that I need to haul are wider, and I'm gonna give up the extra weight of the trailer for the sturdiness and the extra width. This thing is built like a brick house, which is ironic because right now the way it sits, the deck is twisted. I combed over this thing with a fine tooth comb when I purchased it. Local contractor. The thing is in really good shape. I took it for a spin. It tracks nice and straight. The deck boards are pretty good. It doesn't have a bunch of rot to it. The brakes do not function. However, I was told they just need to be hooked up. I don't know if that had to do with the accident or not. I'm not sure. But essentially the story goes, they had a boom lift on the trailer, and they were, where the guy's from is a pretty hilly area of the greater Cleveland area. And he said he was on a hill, they lost it, toppled over, and as it went over, it tweaked the deck of the trailer. And I'll get some shots for you guys and we'll dig into it more later, but I believe this to be true. I think it's just the cross rails that are tweaked. Maybe, you know, just from looking through the boards a little bit, they look like they got some rot to them, which is pretty standard here in Ohio. Usually the first thing to go on a trailer are those cross members. So I bet that they were just a little soft, and the weight of that boom lift just, you know, tweaked the whole thing. The important part is the frame is straight, it tracks nice and straight. So I could use it as is, which I probably will here and there until I really tear into this thing. But I'd really like to get the brakes functioning, and then we can move on to the structural issues. But for now, I think we're going to jump into the brakes. It's not going to be tonight, though, because it's getting dark, and I got a ton of other things that I got on my list before I get to this trailer. Sad day. I bought this because that pretty little Kaufman that I had, the 15,000-pound trailer, I sold it. I got a good deal on it. I made some money on it, and like I said, it was a really, really nice trailer, but it was too nice for me. I mean, I had too much invested into that thing to not sell it and make some money on it. So that's what I did. They come up all the time, but I plan on using this thing. I got it for nice and cheap. The plan is put some work into it, and it should be a nice functioning trailer that's worth a lot more than I bought it for after we're done with it. So for you guys it'll be right now, for me it'll be another day, but let's jump into this thing. All right, good news, it's golden hour, so camera coloring is going to be beautiful. Bad news is it's golden hour. I got about 20 minutes till the sun goes down, but I talked to my boss and he's letting me use the equipment here at one of our yards. This is actually the yard that I used to keep my stuff at back in the day. Usually there's a loader back here, which is how I was planning on doing this, and I don't see it. There's a D61 sitting here, which I have no use for. There's a PC360, which is massive, and then a Case CX130. So I think I'm going to opt to use the two excavators. My plan is stick a bucket on the deck in the middle, and then my two corners that are bent, just lift up one at a time and see if I can't, pry one way or the other. Here's the deal. I know it is not smart to re-stress steel that has already been stressed. It just makes it weaker. I know that. However, this trailer is so tweaked that driving it down the road, I just feel like at all times I'm going to get pulled over. I mean, it looks terrible. It works fine. It drives straight and everything, like I said, but it just looks horrible. What I'm hauling this trailer with is a 3/4 ton truck. So I would never be able to get the 10 ton on this trailer that it's rated for or was rated for and be able to tow it with that truck. It just wouldn't happen. So I'm not going to explain any further than that. I just want to get this thing as straight as I can, and I'm running out of time. So I'm going to fire up these two pieces of equipment and see if we can't get her to straighten out a little bit. Okay. Hopefully both of these machines are in Deere controls, but I don't know who normally runs them. That looks like a Komatsu key. Holy low idle. Where's the throttle control on this thing? There we go. All right, she's in Deere control, which is what I prefer. All right, I'm gonna let that thing warm up. That's the older of the two. It's also the smaller. I'll be honest, I've never spent any sort of time in a 360 size machine. I think the biggest I've ever operated was like a 200. So this is gonna be an experience for me. Cameras never do it justice. This thing is big. Ugh. Oh boy. Of course, I left my Komatsu key in my truck. Dang it. Wow. That battery did not sound happy. I wonder when the last time this thing ran was. This is a big boy. Oh good, this one's in Deere too. And I'm not surprised how smooth this thing is. It is new and large, so they move slow and smooth typically. I'm not looking to do anything incredible here. Obviously this equipment is not mine, so I'm just gonna move nice and slow, just so I make sure I don't ruin anything. That's the idea anyway. All right, so we're gonna start with my bucket. I'm thinking center of my beams and 3/4 of the way to the front, because we're gonna start with that dovetail in the back. So I just wanna be nice and center. I don't want to put too much pressure on here because I don't need it. All right, let's track this thing over and see if we can't lift up on that corner. I also tried my best to get this thing as sitting level as possible with what I'm working with here. This is the most level piece of ground I could find. Okay, how do I want to do this? So I am, you know what? Let's go this way. All I want to do is just grab this corner and just feather it up just ever so slightly. Hearing cracking. Not necessarily a good thing. I want to see what that's doing to the frame here. So far so good. Thinking this is probably my thumbnail opportunity. This looks stupid. It really does. All right, let's see if that did anything. I think we're better. I'm gonna move my 360 bucket a little closer to the front and see if I can't get more out of it that way. Some more. Easy and delicate. That's the goal. You don't want to go too far. I have a feeling this is probably kind of boring content because I'm going so slow. But I truly feel like if I go too far, I'm screwed, you know? I don't want to ruin the trailer any more than it already is. I should have taken measurements before I started. I don't think it's moving much, to be honest. And I'm fearing that if I go any further than I am already, I'm gonna break it. Don't really want to give it downward pressure because I don't want to bust the tires or springs. But I feel like that might be a part of it too. Tires don't look bad. All right. Man, I'm nervous. All right, how are we now? I cannot believe how much that's flexing. Whoops. Oh boy. I think it's better. It's definitely not straight yet, but it's definitely better than it was. I wonder if I start working on that front corner, if I can't get the rear end to straighten out even more. So here's what we're dealing with now. You can tell there's still a little bit of a bow here. You know, the frame's straight. You look at the frame and it's straight. It's definitely the deck that's going down, but it's a lot less noticeable already. You know, I wonder what happens. I really don't have pressure on the bucket right now, but I wonder what happens when I lift it up. But she's definitely better. I mean, see that corner back there compared to this corner here? You know what I mean? We're close. Let's see what happens when I touch this front corner. This is where I really got to be careful. I'm actually going to throttle down just a little bit, because this machine is definitely overkill for what I'm trying to do here. Track a little bit further. Okay. I might even need to go further. Yeah, that ain't gonna work. Up. Hey, remember when I was saying I'm gonna go nice and slow? This isn't gonna do it. My front's just gonna lift.
Idiot!
Scoop. Really got to make sure that I don't hit one of these bollards. That would be tragic. Check my swing. Tight spaces are never a good idea with an excavator, especially when you're just borrowing it. Alright, let's nestle this bucket right next to my other one. If this doesn't do it, it ain't happening. I'm gonna let it sit like this for a minute and see how she looks. Well, you can't really see it, but I will say I was hoping for better. It's better than it was, but I think whatever happened to it, it must have, you know, really set it. I was gonna say set it straight, but the opposite. Really set it the way it is. I do think it's a little bit better than it was before, but not by much. I gotta get to work on brakes with this thing, and once the brakes are wired up, I don't know if I'll keep it or not. If you guys have any ideas on how I could get this thing to straighten out, we'll look at it in more detail in the daylight another day. But if you guys got any ideas kicking around in your mind, drop them down in the comments, let me know, because I sure would like to see this thing get straightened out. Morning. It is 7:45. I just crossed over into Indiana, heading to Western Michigan. And I've got some explaining to do, but every time I try talking in this truck or Frank the Bee, the audio is terrible. So I would leave you with a time lapse, but the Indiana roads are looking quite bleak this morning. So I'm just gonna keep on driving, and I'll catch up with you once I have what I'm going to get.
I've got work to do for me and me and you. I've got work.
everyone, say it with me. We are in the boonies. No yellow lines and about a mile in between every house. We're a couple minutes away. It's actually pretty back here. There's a little lake or pond on my left. Looks like a nice little spot. Quaint. Wow. Night and day from my recent trailer experiences, but more on this later. Nicest people I have dealt with in a very long time. Invited me in to sign the title, offered me coffee. I got to use their restroom, TMI. Nice people. Anyway, I am heading back east now. I'll talk to you guys when I get back. Don't tell, but about 70 cents cheaper than the rest of them at, so it is it's on road, it's not the red stuff, so but it is a lot cheaper, so I'm gonna use what I got. Well, this behind my truck is a 2007 Kaufman 12-ton equipment trailer. Electric brakes, full toolbox in the front, brand new tires, brand new brakes. How did this happen? Well, I bought that Trail King, which is a little bit newer. It was like a 2013, I think. And obviously, you are well aware at this point that the deck was twisted. And after I gave my little college try effort of untwisting the trailer, I said, you know what, why don't I just see what happens if I list this thing and maybe I can make some money on it. You know, I didn't have a big number in mind, but if I can make $500 just for my time and put that towards a trailer that doesn't need as much work, that's what I did. I listed it, and 2 days later, I mean, there were so many people messaging me about that. Just ambitious people like myself, you know, people that want to take a stab at it. I was honest with them and said that the deck was twisted, took good pictures, told them that I tried, and I couldn't get it. The guy that bought it didn't even care. He said he was probably just going to drive it the way it was. But that was the other thing too, is I had to wire up the brakes still and all that, and it was just like, it was a lot of work for what I paid for it and for what it was. This one was actually listed at the same time that the Trail King was. I bought the Trail King over this one thinking that it was going to be worth the savings. This was $1,000 more. And and also this was, you know, a lot more of a drive. It was about an hour and a half longer of a drive. So I bought the other one, changed my mind, sold it, and went back to the guy. I said, hey, you still got that trailer? He said, yes, I do. Nice people. Brought me in, offered me coffee, you know, signed the title. Got to say hi to his little cattle dog that he had. He was up front with me, real honest guy. Not that the other guy wasn't, but you know, it was just cut and dry. This was his personal trailer that he used to haul around his skid steer and his mini excavator. He upgraded to a newer trailer. Can't remember what it was. Yeah, I can't remember what brand it was, but really nice. But he bought it brand new. He bought this off of Bobcat, actually, a rental Bobcat store, something like 6 years ago. Wore down the bushings and the springs, couldn't get it certified through DOT, and said, screw it, I'm not going to mess with it, park it, buy a new one, sell this one. And I gladly took it from him. So it just all worked out. I mean, this thing it's stout. This is actually what I use to haul home, or haul home this is what I use to haul away the F550 with and then immediately haul it back home. It's a heavy trailer. It's 6,000 pounds, which is why I was so overloaded on that trip. But it's my only trailer right now that I could use. Obviously, yes, I could have used the Peterbilt, but that thing still needs work. I still need rear tires, and I knew that this was going to work out, you know, okay enough. So I just decided to leave that at home, haul with this thing. Quite frankly, I probably should have just hauled with the Peterbilt because I stress tested that automatic transmission a little bit too hard. I actually just used this today. That was yesterday when I did the trip with the F550 that you guys saw a couple weeks ago. But today I was hauling something else light today, and just idling, I can smell the burnt transmission fluid. So it still functions just fine, but we're gonna have a day digging into that transmission, just making sure that it's, you know, fresh filter, fresh fluid, all that fun stuff, just to give us our best shot at salvaging that thing. I'm really hoping that it's okay. But like I said, so far it still functions just fine. It's not slipping or anything. But that's the new trailer. Kind of a up and down whirlwind with this video and what we set out to do versus what we got. But here's the thing. I got this trailer for free. From what I bought the other trailer for, sold it, and my other ones, I got this trailer for free. So hard to say no to FREE, man. Obviously I could have put that extra money in my pocket, but I think this was well worth the extra money that I spent on it. And I'm really happy with it. What do you guys think? I think we made out all right here. I definitely, let's take a look at this thing. It's definitely got rotten deck boards, as you saw in the F550 hauling video. But I think that's just about it. We're gonna needle scale this thing just like we did to our other equipment trailer that we had, repaint it, probably color match the Dodge as well as the Peterbilt and the Kaufman trailer behind that. And then we'll have like a brown fleet here. It'll be pretty cool. Everything's really solid underneath. Like I said, some scale here and there, but nothing's blowing through or anything. You can see there back in the corner, those are the bushings that we need to replace on both sides. But as far as the underside goes, I mean, everything is in exceptional shape for what I spent on this trailer. Which, by the way, what did I spend on the trailer? $3,200. Not bad for a $14,000 trailer. At least I think. This was a big seller for me too, this toolbox. The other one didn't have an enclosed toolbox, and this one has a full enclosed toolbox that is also much larger than the space in the Trail King. So I'm much happier with this trailer over the Trail King personally. The only thing we got to do is deck boards and then new bushings in the rear springs. The front springs are all right, and we're gonna have a nicely functioning trailer. That also, I forgot to mention, the 8 new tires on this, I mean, he replaced them when he parked it a couple years ago. That Trail King, I didn't realize, all the tires and rims were from like a E450 van. Like, they were all off of a Ford. They weren't the original wheels and tires, which I don't know, something wasn't right with that thing, rubbed me the wrong way. It was cheap, and I don't feel bad about selling it. It's a cheap trailer. It's probably a $14,000, $15,000 trailer, maybe not that much. Somewhere in that neighborhood, $12,000, $13,000 new. For a couple $1,000s, you can't go wrong there. But anyway, I'm rambling. I think we made out with a good deal here. Let me know what you think, but you'll be seeing more of this trailer. I am certain of that. But I'm going to bring this one to a close, a little bit of a smorgasbord here, but, here we are. With that, if you guys enjoyed the video, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like it, share it, all that fun stuff. You can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, the TikTokies. With that, I think that's all I got for you this week. I'll see you guys on the next one, but always remember, don't be afraid to grab that wrench, get after yourself. See you next time.